What's up YouTube, Barcode here, bringing another Heir of Light video. This video today is going to be a couple things. One, there's going to be about a change in Twitch schedule. Two, a bunch of leaks from Dev Team Leo in Discord. If you aren't in Discord, I definitely recommend getting in it. You can ask questions, there's leaks, there's all types of things, there's contests, etc. So make sure to get into Discord, it's in the description below. Third thing is wish list. So a wish list of things that I would like to see implemented or changed in the game. Definitely not a make or break thing, but this is just things that I would like to see. So first off, let's go into my Twitch schedule. I didn't stream last night and I was going to, but I was extremely tired. Wednesdays are just not a good day that I chose. So now that PvP Rush and Reset is on Thursdays, I want to do the stream on Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Central. So that is tonight. Make sure to get into that, twitch.tv/barcode. So Thursday nights, 10 p.m. Central, okay? I have a coupon code coming up, probably Friday. However, I am going to first post it on stream on Sunday. So make sure to hit my Twitch up on Sunday night at 10 p.m. to get it very first. Otherwise, I will do a video on Monday putting that coupon code out, okay? Second, leaks. I want to talk about a bunch of leaks that have come through Discord through Dev Team Leo for the last 2 weeks, okay? First is there is a suggestion and they are looking into revamping the relationship effect system. So if that's regarding people that don't have relationships or some relationships that don't make sense or whatever the case may be, they are looking into that. So make sure to look out for that in the future, okay? I hope a lot of Nat 4s get some new relationships and maybe some Nat 5 changes to relationships. We shall see, okay? Next on the list, update 3.3, which is coming out in I think the next couple weeks, not sure. Anyway, real-time raid. This sounds pretty interesting. Now it's, from what I understand, it's a group of 3 teams trying to defeat a boss, okay? Now you can use your friends or whatever case may be. I don't know if it's going to be control or auto. I think it's going to be auto. However, because control can, from what Dev Team Leo said, is dangerous, so I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be auto, okay? And I don't know what the rewards are going to be like, but I'm sure they're going to be great. Maybe some convert stones, or maybe to change a specific stat on a gear. That's what I'm assuming. Maybe that would be sweet, another wish list option, but that's going to be a really cool option, okay? Also, another thing, the Summoner's War collab is going to be extended until September. That is awesome for the Valk and Archangel owners that want to hopefully transcend. So you have a lot more time to be able to get those transcendences, okay? Another leak, Guild Wars is coming up shortly. We don't know if that's going to be in 3.3 update. I'm assuming not, but a lot of people already know that Guild Wars is coming. But if you're not in Discord, you might not know. Guild Wars is going to be an awesome option. I just hope it's not like another tower issue or an auto issue. I hope it's going to be able to be controlled and it's more of a PvP aspect into Guild Wars. That is what I am hoping it to be. Another leak is skill and resistance gear. Now with the cap of higher caps of being changed of resistance and accuracy, those pieces of gear, the set pieces, are it's pretty limited. You don't get much from it. So they are thinking about increasing those pieces of gear, the base stat that it gives you. So that's going to be great. Taunt versus combo skill priority. So in, sometimes when you are in a battle and the enemy has a skill where it, even if the taunt is down, it'll switch to another DPS, maybe somebody with the highest speed, somebody with the highest attack, whatever the case may be, right? When you're on auto, they are looking into the priority of changing how priorities work with taunt and combo skills. So combo skills pretty much take priority over taunt. So if your DPS has aggro on it and your tank's taunt is up, but your DPS's combo skill is up, the combo skill is going to go off first on your DPS. And so this could actually lead to, after the combo skill being done, your DPS might die if the enemy is not dead. So they are looking into changing the priority of using the taunt first so that the taunt gets the aggro back, and then the DPS can use that combo third skill and nuke it down, and then hopefully survive a little bit longer if you can't kill the enemy. So that's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. A lot of people have been asking for this epic zone summoning times 10. Now I like individual stuff for Twitch content purposes. Using the times 10, you'll blow through summons really fast. So however, that's good if you're not a content creator or you just want to get through summons real fast. Times 10 is a good option to have. So they are considering adding that. All these things are, you know, they're leaks. So we don't know if they're going to come out. They might come out, but they have been talking about it and considering it. So leave it at that. Also, with in the sanctuary, for skill shards, you can actually, while you're farming a character, you also can farm the skill shards of that specific character. Now, say you're Transcendence level 64 and you're farming for Dark Lucian or whatever, right? And you're just wanting to get more Dark Lucians to transcend, and that character might already have max skill ups, right? The skill shards are just going to sit in your inventory and not do anything. So they are actually considering and thinking about changing, using those skill shards in the crafting section, maybe with some other materials, to actually convert those skill shards into the servant shards, which would be a very nice addition. I hope they actually implement that, so that'll be awesome. All right, now into my wish list. Number one on my wish list, I wouldn't say number one, but this is the first thing I wrote down. It's not really my priority of wish list things to happen. However, IPvP, okay, IPvP, everything's on auto, right? So there is skill, you know, there is theory crafting into IPvP with team comps, you know, specifically taking into it blindly. You don't know who you're going to face. There is specific theory crafting on IPvP. However, I would like to implement something like, either if you do it through here, or if you go into the servant section and maybe there's just an IPvP tab down here maybe, or whatever the case may be, but the ability to be able to prioritize certain skills over others. I think that'll give the auto concept and the IPvP concept a little bit more depth. That would be my one of the things that I would like to see. I think that'll make IPvP a lot more competitive over the fact of just progression, because IPvP is mainly just on progression and what characters you have fully transcended and gear and potentials, right? So being able to prioritize certain skills over others would definitely help in the terms of competitiveness. Second on my list, again, not a priority, but Nat 3s. So what I would like to see with Nat 3s is have all of them have a full awakening ability to be able to awaken them fully, right? I made a challenge with myself. Someone challenged me to progress in PvP with a Nat 3. And he said a Marat. And I said, I'll choose any Marat. So I said, I'll choose Dark, right? But I really can't do anything if it's not going to be able to fully awaken. And I feel like a lot of them, you know, you have some, so why not do all, right? I feel like you should be able to do all Nat 3s. It'll help in the progression. It's lower on materials, so they're choosing to use their materials on Nat 3s. You know, the Nat 3 stat boost, they don't have to be tremendous, but, you know, they should be able to if players choose to, especially free to play. You know, there is some still good Nat 3s out there, and if we are able to awaken them more, I feel like we could actually use a couple more nat 3s in the game, because there is some decent nat 3s out there with some decent skills. You know, their levels might not be the best, but it's still possible to use them. I also would like to see with nat 3s at least the first row of potentials, and I'll go into why I talk about that. The first row of potential. So I would like to see, just like in a nat 4 currently, they don't have the lower tier, I mean the second row of potentials, because those are for most nat 5s. I mean, they are for nat 5s, right? But some of them don't have them. But nat 4s, they have the first row of awakening, and I feel like this should be what a nat 3 looks like in potentials. If someone chooses to use potentials into a nat 3, I feel like they should have the ability to do that, and I feel like that'll help progression with a lot of free-to-play, you know, new players, and I think that's a good idea. Now, opening this up to nat 3s, I would definitely still not want to see relationship effects for nat 3s. I feel like nat 3s are at a lower tier for a reason, so you know, you shouldn't be able to have a relationship passive plus have transcendences plus have full awakening as a nat 3. So I get that. So I don't really think that relationship effects should happen with nat 3s. They should just have a passive like this, or whatever the case may be. But I think the first row potentials would be a nice addition to nat 3s. Natural 4 stars or origin 4-star characters, I feel like every single one should have a relationship passive. They are nat 4s, they're harder to get somewhat. You know, they're harder than nat 5s, obviously, right? But I feel like every nat 4 should have a relationship effect with someone, whether that's another nat 4, or if it is a nat 5, that would be nice too. But you know, it really just depends. Maybe the dark and light ones maybe have a relationship with nat 5s, or you know, or even all of them, whatever, right? But they all should have some kind of a relationship passive to another servant, in my opinion. That is one wish I would like to see, right? Now with potentials, nat 4s, they all have the first row of potentials, which is great, right? What I would like to see in the potential aspect in nat 4s is only the first 2 boxes being able to have a potential, and some kind of special, depending on maybe their class or whatever the case may be, or even character specific ones, right? That would be nice to have. Like, you know, you wouldn't want a crit damage buff on Laura. She's a damage over time, so maybe like, you know, accuracy, or you know, CDR, like global cooldown reset for her, or skill reduction or whatever, so she can use more dots or whatever the case may be, right? But for like a damage dealer like a Father Hopkins or whatever, maybe have, you know, a global cooldown thing or whatever, right? That's something that we can, you know, they can theory craft, or if they want to talk to me, I can help theory craft a lot of servants, please. And I'll talk about that in a minute as well. But I feel like they should have the first 2 rows maybe like a level 68 and a level 70 potential, being able to use that when you get to that transcendence level, to be able to use the potentials in those 2 boxes, those first 2. I think that would be a nice addition to have. They do balance changes a lot in servants, and I appreciate that. They always looking into changing things. For nat 4 specifically, there is a lot of characters that need to be revamped and changed just because of the course of the game and how it's been, right? So I will just go into 2 specific examples, right? One is someone that I am actually building, and the reason I'm building him is because I've always wanted to, and I just like the fact that he's a dark character and he's a ranged character, and I've gotten 3 6 stars from Fusion, right? So Father Hopkins of Dark, right? This is just one example of a nat 4 that needs a revamp, right? All his regular skills are fine. You know, the single target, that's fine. I do enjoy that. His passive, okay? Active skill hit on an enemy with a defense decrease debuff has a 50% chance to stun the enemy. Now, think about this. The only person that you're actually hitting is the tank. Do you care if you stun a tank? Not really. I mean, if it's Ishmael, maybe, so he doesn't use his own shield. But if you're running Ishmael, you're probably running Lenore, and if you're running Lenore, you're probably running Halel, right? That's the most common 3-man comp: Ishmael, Lenore, Halel, right? So Halel, you're gonna have his or her shield, right, on the whole team. So stunning Ishmael is not gonna be beneficial, right? What I would like to see is this stun to be AoE, especially because it's on a skill hit. So he has on auto, unless you manually choose it, he has to use a skill, and then he has to hit somebody, which is the tank, on a defense break, and then it only has a 50% chance to work. So it's just it's a nice concept, the passive, but it just doesn't pan out correctly on how it should be. My opinion is this should say, on an active skill hit on an enemy, it has a 100% chance to stun the whole all enemies for 4 seconds. Or active skill hits on an enemy with a defense rate has a 100% chance. One of those two, right? Or if it's like it has a 50% chance on all enemies if there's no defense break, and a 100% chance if there's a defense break on all enemies. But it definitely should be like an AoE stun, and it definitely should change to either 100% on a defense break or no defense break, or 50% off a defense break and 100% on a defense break. I feel like that should be a good change for him. Another example of an App 4 revamp, which everybody loved in the beginning of the game, right? But it was so gimmicky. Water Usher, right? An awesome character in Thought, right? In Thought. You know, defense-based first skill, defense-based second skill, defense-based third skill, but the passive, right? 50% chance to deal damage ignoring enemy's defense when using skills. And then you have to take into effect that this defense of an F4 has to be higher than the enemy's defense. Honestly, being an F4 and having the defense, right, having to be higher than the enemy. So you're going to have lower base stats. Nat 5s, you're going to have higher defense if it's a defense-based monster. And that's what you use typically. Ignore defense on is high defense-based monsters that have immunity, right? Or can't be armor broken or whatever, right? This should be 100%. 100% chance to deal damage if the enemy's defense, if you're higher than the enemy's defense, right? That's what I feel like it should be. It's a Nat 4. So, you know, it definitely should change to something along the lines of that. It should have 100% type of thing, but with some kind of gimmick like that, defense higher than the other. I feel like that would make Water Usher a very reliable potential Nat 4 character that we could use. Tower Invasion. What I would like to see with Tower Invasion. Now, I love Tower Invasion. Tower Invasion is my jam, right? So Tower Invasion, we have a whole space here. Oops, why does that happen? I have a whole space here of nothingness, right? Now this, I talk about this because this is what I would like Tower Invasion to be revamped into, right? Tower Invasion already just had a revamp, and the rewards are so much better than it was before. That's great. And you still get the weekly rewards from it, so that's great, right? What I would like to see is actually all this. I would like to see 2 selections, and then we can put the name over here. You know, once I click on one section of tower, I can see the name, the guild, the points, the rank, the medals, you know, reward list, whatever, over on this side. And then I would like to be able to choose between one or the other tower. And if I don't like those choices, then I can reset. You know, some people don't like to attack their guildies. Some guilds say, you know, it's a free-for-all, so it's because it doesn't affect the guild overall. And you can attack your guildies, and that's fine. Maybe just on, you know, Saturday you can't because it's the reset day or whatever your guild rule is, right? But I feel like we should be able to have 2 selections of towers here, and I can click whichever one I want, and then I can reset if needed then. I would like to see that implemented, and I feel like a lot of other people would like to see that too, because nobody likes to attack their own guildies, even though I did. I'm sorry, Kennard, I'm sorry. Last but not least is probably the most least used option in this game is just the regular invasion. I mean, if you're using PvP tokens on this, you're probably early game because you can't kill anybody in PvP or IPvP. So you're using it on this to just get honor points. Now, I feel like this needs to be revamped a ton. Whether that's whatever you get from it. Maybe you can select character shards, servant shards. That would be kind of sweet. Or I would just actually update these. Make it 10 honor points every time you use, because it's it's pretty much early game stuff, right? I mean, because you can't compete in PvP or IPvP or whatever. So, having 2 honor points and 3 carrots, I feel like if you want to use this more, it needs to be higher rewards. That's all the time I have today. Thank you for tuning in. Those are my leaks, my wish list, and my Twitch schedule change. So make sure to follow me on Twitch if you want to get into that. Twitch is very, very fun, and I enjoy the time that I'm doing it. Thursday nights, Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Central. Make sure to, if you like my content, to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I will check you guys in the next video. Peace.